You're watching Newsfeed AM. Let's pick up on this discussion now. Limpopo Cooperative Governance, Human Settlements and Traditional Affairs MEC Basikopo Makamu has welcomed the improvements of the 27 municipalities in the province following their audit outcomes for the 2021-2022 financial year. The most notable achievement is that of the Capricorn and Waterberg district municipalities that attained clean audits. Well, let's have a look at the entire review of how Limpopo has performed, and we are joined by the MEC himself in studio, Basikopo Makamu, who is in studio with me. MEC, good morning to you, and thank you very much for making the trip to this studio. Good to have you. You have some 27 of your municipalities that are mostly in rural parts in Limpopo. That can't be easy to manage. Give us your sum total of the performance of municipalities in your province.
Well, thanks, Toli, and greetings to all the viewers at home. Let me indicate that we have seen improvements in terms of our audit outcomes. But as a province, as led by the Premier, we are not yet where we want us to be, so we believe there's still room for improvement, especially when we work together with our municipalities.
Yeah.
Look, it has been for the first time that in the 5-year period, 2 of our district municipalities get clean audits, which is Capricorn and Waterberg district municipality.
Yeah.
But we have been having a lot of municipalities sitting on unqualified audit opinion, and we speak now, almost 14 of those municipalities are in that category.
Yeah.
You will understand that when municipalities are sitting there, some will have joined, like Purukwani, Greater Giani, got qualified. And you will appreciate if you see Purukwani as a city or a secondary city municipality getting to that level, because it is a high-capacity municipality.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you will still be worried that one of our districts, which is in a rural area in the form of Mopani district municipality, is sitting on a negative audit opinion, on a disclaimer. The Premier has pronounced at a particular time to say he wants to declare that province a free zone for disclaimer or adverse opinion. We are fighting so hard, and I think we are still doing work with the Mopani district municipality to take it out of the disclaimer. But overall, people can still now see municipalities accounting for the funds that they have been given for service delivery. Okay,
so MEC, for viewers to understand and follow this conversation, tell us the amount of municipalities that you have in Limpopo and how many have attained clean audits out of the others that are still struggling. Okay. If you could sum it up like that.
Look, we have got 2 municipalities sitting on clean audits. We've got about 14 municipalities sitting on unqualified audit opinion, and 11 sitting on qualified audit opinion, and only 1 sitting on a disclaimer audit opinion. Yeah. That will make you the 27. What impresses us is that the Premier gave mandate specifically to the MEC for Coxstar and the Treasury to say we should do away with adverse and disclaimer audit opinion. Yeah. And during the 3 years, we have seen most municipalities graduating through our support from that. You will know, Koli, that we have had a problem child municipality in the form of Mukhalakwen. As I speak today, it has gone out of that. There is stability in that municipality. Council is sitting. Committees of councils, whether it's MPEC reports, audit reports, internal audit reports, are being taken to councils. And that is the first indication that the municipality and the political leadership of the municipality are having a will to make sure that they account for all what they're doing.
MEC, the people of Limpopo, perhaps some of them watching this interview, will appreciate the clean audit outcomes, because that means that the finances of the municipalities are being run relatively well, and that we put inverted commas, relatively well. However, achieving clean audits and people experiencing service delivery on the ground. Those are two different matters. In October last year, now that we count the Capricorn district municipalities among those that are doing fairly well, there were water challenges. And you accused residents amid the water challenges of pushing political agendas. How does that sit with residents who are saying, we have water challenges, and in comes the authority to say, you people have political agendas. Make that make sense to us.
Let me say, let me accept and also continue to clarify that Capricorn District Municipality is responsible for the 3 local municipalities, that is Mulemule, Blowback, and Lipelenkumpi.
Yeah.
The Polokwane municipality is within the Capricorn District Municipality, but because of its status, it is a water service authority, so it does its own water provision on its own because it's a water service authority. We picked challenges within the Capricorn, and I must appreciate the Minister of Water and Sanitation, Mr. Sezumkunu, together with the Premier and the Mayor of the local. There are a number of projects that we have picked that we need to attend to because we were not maintaining pipes properly, we were not doing a lot of things. There were issues. I think now you know that when people did not perform previously, they would use COVID-19 as an excuse. Now there is a new excuse that everybody brings in the form of load shedding. Of course, I must say to you that we picked it up that one of the issues that was affecting Polokwane for water was mainly load shedding, which was happening at the Ebenezer Dam, which is found in Zanin. Now together with the Lepelle Northern Water, which is a water board that is responsible, we are running a project that will make sure that a specific electricity line will be able to go to the dam so that the plant should work, and we have got to ESCOM that the place should not necessarily continue to be load shedded, so that we can be able not to have interruption.
So there's commitment from ESCOM's side that that particular area will be exempted from load shedding. Is that what you mean?
It's exactly what I mean. There's that commitment, but also to provide a separate line that will leave the dam to support the plant in order for us not to have water cuts. So that Polokwane, because you know Polokwane, it's our capital city, the economy of Polokwane makes the province to tick. So all of us, we are focused to see that when we support Polokwane, we're not necessarily supporting Polokwane as a town or as a municipality, we are supporting the entire province because that is the economic hub of the province.
When is this commitment from ESCOM going to materialize? Because oftentimes politicians like yourself come here and make fantastical commitments. Well, but we need timelines. We have to hold you to timelines.
I appreciate that, Toli. Let me indicate that I have been in conversation with the executive mayor, with the Lepelle Northern Water. They are in the procurement stage. That should not be taking more than 3 months to make sure that they appoint people who will upgrade that electricity supply to the plant so that we don't continue with load shed. It's a priority to us, all of us, from the Premier, the Executive Mayor, the board, and even myself as a supporting institution to the local municipalities.
Well, that's a very interesting commitment given the challenges facing ESCOM. So that's something that we will hold you to. But talking about water challenges, the Guyane Water Project, that's been the talk of the country for years. People of Guyane who do not have access to water, and yet there is a massive dam right next to them that is not being used to filter water down into their homes. Where is that process now? Because I do remember the very minister you mentioned visiting that area, I think, last year. Where is the process now?
Well, let me also indicate, Goli, for your information, that is where I come from personally. Yeah. So I will not be talking only out of the reports that I receive.
Yes.
Every Saturday, Sunday, I walk around the area, I see the plight of the people. So it's not about the report I get. Let me say the president came on December the 8th to see the progress of the project. The pipeline is almost complete from Nandoni to Nsamidem. They have come with a new scope that will show that the pipeline from Nandoni will deliver water to the canal that was already existing. That process has been done, and I think it's ready to start. We were promised by the minister that by March this year, the people of Guyana will starting to be receiving water that will be coming from Nandoni. And I may say, from what I saw when the president was there and they were able to do simulation to show how it will work, it's something convincing that it will be history talking about the 55 villages when it started for the water project in Guyana. I think enough attention by the minister is being given to that project. And I think the minister is so determined. You will know now, Koli, that already they have given the district municipality money to make sure that by the time water arrives at the plant, they should be able to reticulation within the villages so that people can get water. So the commitment I'm seeing from the minister together with the executive mayor, but also president himself, is to resolve that project. And I think it has been there. When you say it's a national, I call it an international crisis because it has been there. A lot of billions said to be lost. There are separate work that is being done by law enforcement agencies there. But the commitment by the president said we allow that process to run. But let's focus on giving the people of Guyana water.
Well, it is encouraging to hear, MEC, and I'm glad again that you are able to put some kind of timeline. Yes, it may not necessarily be something that is within your purview or scope of work because the national government appears to be running that project, but just so that people have a picture of how long this project has been running for. 2016, or still reporting, running around on the ground. I was there in Limpopo. I remember being taken around by one of the locals who was sick and tired. And to this day, we're sitting in 2023 now. From 2016, local government. Still, people don't have water. So, again, we are going to hold you to that. Let's take a break because when we return, there are still some municipalities that are experiencing challenges there. Tabazimbi is one of them. We'll talk about that in a moment. You're watching Newsfeed AM. If you're just joining us, well, you find us in the middle of a conversation with the MEC of Cooperative Governance, Human Settlements and Agriculture in Limpopo Province, Basikopo Makamu, who is still with me in studio. MEC, I touched on Tabazimbi Municipality in Limpopo. Now, there is a prime example of a chaotic municipality within your domain. There are parallel structures, we understand. What seems to be the problem? And how are you solving it, more importantly?
Well, thanks, Koli. Let me say that I am not here to come and discuss the politics of coalition governments. But I think as the country, we may need to want to look at it and try to legislate it in a manner that it will make service delivery and running of municipalities to continue. Moreover, it should be kept in a particular way that it does not necessarily filter easily to administration. Yeah. But as I'm speaking, I've been to Tabazimbi physically myself, met all the councillors and everybody else, like you will say, there is a parallel structures there. There is a mayor elected on the 1st of, after the elections. There is a mayor which was elected in one council, which the matter of that council is a subject of a court as I'm speaking to you. Yeah. Others are challenging the legality of that council. But what will worry you is the game of numbers. That in that municipality there are 23 councillors. 11 are of the ANC and 12 are opposition combined. So you can see that the difference is one. So once one from this side can decide to support the other view, whether it's a decision making or it's an issue of leadership change, the other one has the majority, that may affect. So in this case, it will seem like the ANC got one out of the opposition to support them or to work with them, to want to remove them. But like I said, it's a very worrying factor. But what we are doing now is to make sure that we take charge of the administration, because we don't have powers to unless if we have gone to Executive Council, take a decision of intervention. You will know that the Provincial Executive Council has got the responsibility to intervene in terms of Section 139. We have not yet done that. We are still engaging everybody else. But I can confirm to you, I have seen it with my naked eyes, that when there's that challenge, the people of that municipality, ordinary people, are suffering because of the infighting for the control of the municipality. And I want to go down to say, I don't think it's about the control of the municipality only. It could be the control of the resources, which was not supposed to be. I spoke to individual councillors. I said, I would not live in this council chamber when each one of you has said, why are you here? What is it that you want to achieve when you are a councillor here? Because you have been elected by the people to service them. But what we are doing here, you are fighting it's like each one of you is fighting for his own space other than fighting for the people that elected them.
MEC, I'm going to move on from the area of municipalities because your portfolio is quite biggish. You're also responsible for human settlements. But I want to get this point across. Earlier, I mentioned that at least 27 of the municipalities that you have oversight over, 27 of them are in rural parts, and part of making them function and function well, whether it be obtaining clean audits to the actual service delivery on the ground, that's going to require skilled personnel. How do you think you can attract those skilled personnel to go and work in rural parts of South Africa?
It's a very big issue you raised. I can give you an example about a municipality like Musina. It's a grade 3 municipality. It requires a technical service director or a CFO with capacity. You advertise that position, you don't attract anybody for 2-3 years full. Now, when you attract, it's somebody who is unemployed or somewhere who is just sitting. It can't be. When you want to headhunt some people to say, but there's a position there, why don't you go there, you can assist. The person will tell you about the schooling there. My children will be far away. I want them to be here in Pulukwani. So all sorts of things. But we are trying to make sure that we get young graduates and make sure that we put them in those municipalities. We have got a program within our MISA program that we attract town planners, we attract engineers, we train them, we make them to be willing to work in those areas. And that program is assisting because now we're starting to recruit. I want to give you an example of one municipal manager as we speak. And one of those municipalities got unqualified audit opinion, which was serious, Elias mutuality. The municipal manager there, Koli, started there as an intern. He has risen up through the ranks of that municipality. Today he is a municipal manager in that municipality. So you can be able to see that that program, if it can be looked into, people will still want to feel that they have to contribute, rural as we are, but also we should, from the human settlement point of view, that we should run away of building RDP houses continuously. Because there are people like you, Toli, who might be coming from a rural village like Nkuri. That's where I come from. That they may want to see that in that area there is running water, there is sewer, they can be able to do certain things. So we have, together with the current Minister of Human Settlement, that we start to go to areas and provide bulk services, engineering services, water, sewer, electricity, so that people can build their own. If you have come to Limpopo, visit their villages, you will see in rural villages people are building double story, which are equal size to the Sandton ones. Now, those people want to stay there, but the fact is that they want services there.
Yeah.
So you should be able to continue to change the method of delivering services, reduce building RDP houses, make sure services are there, then people will build their own houses.
MEC, the Limpopo province, I'm now really moving along from the municipal challenges. We know that a sizable number of your municipalities, they took monies, not invested them, because they were not allowed to do that. That was not investment. They simply took money and poured that money into the VBS bank, which is now defunct. How are those municipalities doing today financially, and have the people who did that been held accountable?
Well, let me say this has been a thorny issue and something that, as a province, we are not proud of, and we will never be proud of, because people's money, I agree with you, was not invested. But I will give you an example of one municipality around the very same thing. But the people have gone through disciplinary processes. Some of them were found and expelled from municipalities. Some have been arrested by the law enforcement agents.
Yeah.
Where we are today, we are waiting to see the law enforcement agencies acting upon any person who is implicated in that regard. And I think I don't have to mention, but you have seen that the Hawks continue to be working tirelessly around that space. And let me leave it for them, because it's a subject, that area. But as Cooperative, we had to support those municipalities to come with financial recovery plans. There are certain municipalities who are even still getting, because we instructed each and every municipality to go and queue for the liquidation and get their monies.
Yeah.
There are some of those municipalities which are getting some of the liquidation amount out of that. We are working with those municipalities. But we also worked with these municipalities, and you can pick them and see how they are trying to improve, because the financial recovery plans that were approved by the MEC for Cooperative made sure that certain things, they should not necessarily be over-ambitious, but to follow, so that the financial health of municipalities get to back to the track.
Yeah.
It's not something that I'm proud of, but it's something that you have to do so that you can be able to, you can't just throw your hands in the air and say things have happened, therefore there's nothing that you can do. We are trying to do something.
So your line, MEC, is quite clear, and we really have to wrap up. Your line is clear, that those who were responsible for that must be held to account. If indeed you mean what you say, does it sit comfortable with you that you have a fellow MEC, Florence Radzelane, sit next to you in executive council meetings when it was publicized throughout South Africa that she was part of those?
Goli, let me say I was lucky. When this scandal broke up, I was very close. I was still the Deputy Secretary. Besides what the forensic investigation by the provincial government did, even us as the organization, African National Congress, we did our own investigation. And I still wait to hear the information my colleague Florence raised there. And I don't want to be taking side for now. But you said something that I sit with her next to. She's my deputy chair as well, not necessarily in the executive council. She will share with me and say, these things is not something that I'm aware of. And there has been a lot of issues. And I tend to want to believe her, because the law enforcement agency are picking all those that seem to have done something wrong.
Yeah.
And I will want us, me and you, Toli, and everybody else, to allow her to remain innocent until something that will prove that she is. Of course, we agree as leadership of the ANC, we must hold high values, that we are free from all these things. I subscribe to that integrity. But the fact that she's there, she's a leader, She has not been said except that there was WhatsApp that was said by other person. We should be able to allow her. And I think I'm giving her a benefit of doubt until something else comes. Then I will be able to.
Final question, MEC. We must wrap up very briefly if you can. You wear many hats, as I said. Now, as a housing MEC, that massive scandal, 15 million rand checks, that Talana housing project. One official resigned from the department. 2 were slapped with final warnings. Unless I'm talking something that is completely foreign to you, you'll confirm for me.
I will clarify.
Please clarify who's been held accountable for that, because this case is before the Specialized Commercial Crimes Court.
Well, I like it that you brought this Talana issue. And it should not be. But it's a project that was implemented by the implementing agency of the department, HDA. There's never been any single official within the Department of Coxstar who was picked either by the SIU, including the MEC there. The people who were arrested are people from the HDA. I'm aware now that I'm awaiting a report that that case has been withdrawn because they could not. But what I picked, and I think the minister, where she is, she's aware, even if she can see this clip, that I said that in Limpopo, it is not the area that you can be able to come and do those that you call a shacks. In our way we call it a TRUs. Because the people in the province are not like anywhere else where you will find congestion. But you remember, the intervention at that time was during COVID, where we were saying we want to decongest people in the Talana and Bakersford area. But as we speak, that contract has been cancelled because it was not accepted by the people, and from the department, only 2.4 million, which SIU is helping to recover because of the quality of those things that the contractor did. But the fact remains that from the department's point of view, we have never been found wanting in terms of the process to hand over a project for them to implement for us.
MEC Basikopo Makamu, let me thank you very much for your time and ask you to remain seated there while I link to my next interview. It's really been a pleasure having you.